since the end of World War II, America in particular has had this hesitance to finish off a war, to do what is actually necessary to finish a war. And as you said, Grant says, like that's the kindest thing that you can do, is to finish it quickly. Or Sherman repeated Napoleon saying that.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that we have put in this tenderness to something, this most singular thing in existence, war, that requires no tenderness really when it comes to combat. And we are sort of reaping those, not rewards, those repercussions from it, from having a draw more or less at Korea. Vietnam, you more or less just you left, because you've been there for so long. You have Iraq and Afghanistan. Afghanistan, you're there for 20 years, and we have the Afghanistan papers that come out, and Mattis is saying, well, we've given women's rights and different things like that. It's like that's not why. Well, why are we there? And I think to an extent we've sort of lost this idea or the vision of what actual war is. And it is cruel. It's the opposite of what Stephen Crane says. It is cruel and it needs to be done quickly.
Yeah, well, it's not being done quickly, and I think that's part of the ongoing undermining of the American character and the feminizing of it. There's something online right now. There's a Russian training video, recruitment video for special forces guys, and then you compare that with something our army just put up, which is a woman. I think she might be a lesbian. She had lesbian parents. She's joined the army. She's found a community in the. I mean, who cares, for God's sakes? That's not what this is about.
Right.
And I got a lot of comments on my Facebook page, and people saying I'd pay to see that fight between the Russians and our feminized armies. But of course, you wouldn't, because it would be cruel and it
Right.
would be a slaughter. I partly blame Hollywood for this, because for many years now, and ever more so as women take over the movie business, they want to show women as being effectively really hot men. That a 95-pound girl can kick a 235-pound guy through a door, literally with one kick.
Right.
This is a fantasy on the lines of Wonder Woman, or Wakanda, or some kind of magic place that's hidden by a shroud and nobody knows they're there, but it's actually a race of super beings. I mean, this is comic book stuff, which one of the criticisms I have of young men today is they should have put that stuff behind them when they were 12, like the rest of us did. But to continue to make superhero movies and these how popular so-called graphic novels, which are basically comic books, are, as opposed to real literature and real fiction, uh, history-based fiction, like the Iliad, for example. Uh, it's sad, and I think it weakens us, and I think it's weakening us on purpose, which will get us into the devil's pleasure palace here in a minute. But it's not good.
Hey, history lovers, Dustin Bass here, and I've started a new history podcast called American Tells, where we explore the world through American history. New episodes come out every Monday and can be found wherever you listen, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. I hope you tune in and subscribe to my new podcast that presents all things pre 21st century American history through dramatic narratives, narrated by yours truly. And each episode comes standard with sound effects, awesome music, and my amazing accents, both foreign and domestic. Subscribe to American Tales with Dustin Bass today and join me as we explore the world through American history.
I don't want to see women killed in combat because they think, well, I punched him and he didn't fall down. I want her to remember what that Roman did, that even though he knew he wasn't going to make it, he ripped the guy's face off with his teeth. That's something that is just not going to be imbued into our warriors. And then you look at those Russian boys, holy cow, they look like they go out and whip Hitler again all over it and come back for lunch. So uh, this is a stark division now in our societies. And if you don't think the Russians are laughing their heads off at us, then you got another think coming.